Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crypt, Campfire, and choose your nightmare of Scamp's adventure.
So I want to talk about into last week's kind of recap first. Then we'll do a little setup of this week and kind of get right into it. Just kind of see where we can talk about Scamp, where we can take his story, how far we can go with it. And, this is choose your nightmare, right? So there's no rules. There's only how messed up can we make this thing and how much fun can we have. So last week, we opened the Pandora's box on asking, I think, what are basically like the hard questions about Scamp and reminisced, the origin story, the original short. Some things I think we took away are Scamp loves his loved ones and will do anything for them, including eating the local peeping Tom. Scamp is also something that I think something we don't want to lose is he's full of humor, and not necessarily the character, but just the ethos of the story and how things come across and out, and the setting up the scares, or sometimes actually setting up the joke. If we were the directors, writers, creators of it from the beginning, what would have been chapter 2 or the next short, the next movie, from where it left off, in the same tone, rhythm, and pace that it was already? So I'll just touch on some ideas from last week, and then we'll get into it. So somebody had a very interesting idea. Actually, no, was it you? Was it you, Ryan? A few people had similar ideas. I forget who. But like a monster rights activist underground they go to or something. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. Yeah, I love that idea. Like whether it's in this version of events or another one, someone needs to make that happen because it's hilarious. Maybe a bigger monster after Scamp we tossed around. I think that's super interesting. I don't know how we get there or anything, but it's super cool to think about. Like the portal is like him maybe trying to escape, and it could be a she. Like we don't know, Scamp, it, whatever we want to call him. Just, the portal, something's after him, something like a bigger monster, something that's like more nefarious than Scamp is. I don't know. Or a source of his power. I don't know. Another one was, this is interesting. It could justify what we've already seen in the short, which is, does Scamp grow the more he eats? What do we think? Because, we only lived in Scamp's, shoes for like 20 minutes. What if, like, the rest of the way he's like, man, he's like 4 feet tall. He's like 6 feet tall. Like, what the hell? What? Scamp? No. Could be something we play around with. Another one was, I think Ryan and someone else in the Discord, I believe, talked about this idea for carrying on that maybe they're going to Vegas to get married, and like they're bringing Scamp along and all the shenanigans that could come across with that. Interesting option. And Rudy1 in the Discord had an idea of Tales of Two Scamps. This one's super detailed, super interesting. Highly recommend going to the Discord. Check it out. I'm not going to do it justice, but I'm going to try. It's basically a portal that split Scamp into two Scamps. And each portal resulted in two separate versions of himself. One kind of like angry, visceral Scamp, and one kind of like super cute and cuddly Scamp. And basically for the world to be right, the two Scamps have to like come together at some point and unite and love each other to be their whole true self. And it's going to be very difficult for them to do that, obviously, because like one hates the other one and the other one is like whatever. So just thought that was super interesting. A lot of possibilities to explore in that potentially. And that's some of the ideas we had. We had a lot more as well, just kind of some key takeaways that seemed interesting that we could explore more if we want. But anything that sticks out to you all?
I'm very here for the monster rights activists. And I really liked the Vegas story, and that there's like a serial killer in the hotel or something.
I like the monster rights thing as well. I think it also plays well with the rest of the Crypt TV universe as well, right? Because you have, as I was plowing through more shorts this week, I came across like the monster versus monster thing where they're in the underground cage fighting thing.
Fight night, yeah.
And I was like, that'd be perfect if there's like another group out there like standing up for these monsters who are like getting scooped up. Or, yeah. So it's a really strong idea actually. I like that.
I love that. Yeah.
I don't know how you play with that yet, but maybe we...
there's what's cool about this Choose Your Nightmare opportunity is there's a world we can layer in options of the Choose Your Nightmare that lead us down a pathway that we touch on that storyline, but we never dig into it, right? So we could set it up in a cool, fun, interesting way that like, oh, there's the like, monster rights activist situation, but like
they go to the hotel in Vegas where there's a serial killer and also there's a monster rights convention happening in the hotel.
That's super interesting. That's super interesting.
That's great.
Okay, cool. I mean, let's keep going, I guess, with where we're at. So one thing I wanted to bring up to help ground where I think we want to at least go initially with Scamp, and again, remember, anything kind of go, like gloves off, like I think we can really explore, especially with this choose your own nightmare version of events, anything can really go. But for now, I thought it was important to establish kind of like the thematic ethos essence of Scamp and the story that we already have, so we're not like veering too far off in left field too fast and kind of losing the plot, so to speak. So I kind of go back to like the theme, right? Like the kind of like essence of Scamp and what we're getting from him. And feel free to give me your thoughts, Alyssa and Ryan. It feels like to me like love never dies, like for Scamp, right? Like once he attaches onto you and he like loves you because he trusts you did something nice for him, it's like you're my person, right? Like we're in this together. But if you do wrong to my people, I'm gonna eat your face, right? So it's like this, I'm super loyal to the extreme, like puppy dog, like don't you mess with my owner. But if you get too close, if you look at them the wrong way, if you peeping Tom it, you're gonna get eaten. So just that ethos of keeping our Scamp, at least to start, he's your best friend. He's like, man, he'd do anything for you.
It's a story about chosen family.
Chosen family. I dig that. So what do you think about that, Ryan? As far as like a theme to keep us on point, just grounded for how we see Scamp and kind of where we can take him. Any thoughts about that kind of thematic pulse, I guess we could call it?
Yeah, I mean, I like the chosen family idea, right? Because it is all about initially this couple trying to build their own family and going through the struggle of that, and then he comes along and he loves on them because the guy helped him out, and so he kind of becomes part of their chosen family. And then the interesting thing would be is like if we're gonna stick with having the mom out there somewhere, like what happens when your real family shows up and suddenly the chosen family and your real family are butting heads? Like where does that go? Like where do we take that storyline? So that's kind of interesting too. I think there's a potential there to like really kind of, because we were talking about earlier too, like it's, I don't know, maybe not, but it seemed like from our last meeting, it seemed like maybe you wanted to kind of like get the couple out of the picture and like bring in someone new. Was that the vibe I was getting, or did you want to stick with this couple?
Well, yeah, like we said at the top, it's I think more so for this episode.
Okay.
This time, let's stick with what we have. Let's stick with who they are, where they're at. They're on the run, right? So we know that, like, we know where we're at right now, which is, hey, Scamp, we gotta go. The cops are gonna come. Like, you just killed everybody. Like, oh shit, we have money, but we're probably gonna be chased by the law enforcement, right? Because that cop was there before he bit his head off. So from there, we don't have to live in the kind of like next moment, which is like in the car, like, oh my God, I can't believe we did this. We could just like end up where they go next, like if we went to Vegas. So it sounds like, I think where are we at? Are we in like Midwest? What do we think? Like it feels very Midwestern.
I think we're in the hotel in Vegas, and they're like having their little hotel celebration with throwing money around, ordering room service.
Yeah, exactly. They got this money. I mean, come on.
It's actually,
gotta blow it
it's a great way. It's kind of fun. I love like the idea of like, when Zombieland opens up and it's like, it's this like almost like game of a version of events of like establishing the world. Since this is like a new spin of episode 2, like, and it's that Scamp like lovable side of things. Like, what if they're like in the hotel maybe? What if they're like out and about? What if they're going to casinos? Like, what if they're like doing stuff like with Scamp? They're like, all right, Scamp. Like, because it's kind of playing into it's a little.
What if Scamp's electricity powers can somehow affect the slot machines, and he can like hack a slot machine or something?
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Wow, this is getting super interesting. Okay. So Scamp is taken to the casinos. So the question is, like, obviously you can't really showcase a little monster in the casinos. So are they like, how are they hiding him? Are they like hiding him?
Maybe he's either disguised as a dog or a baby.
Like a service animal?
Yeah, maybe they put a little service dog vest on him.
Service.
And like, don't worry about it, just don't touch him.
And
But then obviously, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you got it right.
Oh, I was gonna say he's obviously going to attract attention, right? Because if they keep running
Right.
it over and over and over again, like the casino bodyguards are gonna have to come down.
They're
and,
gonna be like,
take care of
what's going on
business.
here?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's actually great what you're saying because it plays into where I feel like the story lives. That kind of like has that like little camp humor as a part of this. So the idea of like we can play into the situation, like situational comedy a bit, where like you said, maybe they put like a little dog scarf outfit on Scamp to make him look a little more like a dog. And then like when the security comes up, like, you can't have a pet. And you're like, oh yeah, have you seen my papers? Like, he's approved. This is government regulated, and I'm gonna take you to court if you don't actually like listen. You know, like we can play into like that whole situation to really mine some humor out of it. So I dig where you guys are going with that. I think that's hilarious. So let's keep going with that. So Scamp is in some version of dog attire of some sort being utilized in the casino, maybe. What's the first, since if let's say this is how the episode started, right? Like we're like right into like, we got the money, we got out of there, no one knows who we are, we got a dog in a casino, we're gonna get more money. What's the, like, who does Scamp eat first? Like, let's get to the good stuff. Like, what can we really get people hooked in that like, oh yeah, but he's still Scamp. Like he's still gonna bite some heads.
Who's like a troublemaker in a hotel or a casino who could be bothering them?
Let's think of options. So we got a drunk, like an obnoxious drunk maybe is one.
Mm-hmm.
Like really like falling over, vomiting on people maybe.
I mean, what about just like a line of like, you know, the regulars, like the senior citizens who are always there with the big pot of coins and they're just chucking them in the little, you know what I mean? And like he comes in and just like disrupts everything. And so suddenly you have like this line of senior citizens who are like not cool about the situation whatsoever.
Like the causing the stink, like get off my lawn type.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Feel okay.
Maybe he
okay.
likes one of the grandmas though.
That would be cute too.
He likes one of the grandmas. Yeah, because she feeds him like cookies under the table. It's like, because she thinks it's a
Yeah,
dog.
I feel like, yeah, you gotta rope in, like, he's against some of them, but then, like, rope in another unlikely hero into the gang.
That's great.
Rope.
Like, her kids took she has no retirement money, and so she's doing casino to get more, and then they're like, yeah, fuck your kids. You have Scamp now. We're gonna give you the retirement vacation of your life.
I love that. Yeah, like this idea that she just lost everything. Like and
yeah.
Like, so she's literally, all she has is literally breadcrumbs left in her hand, and that's what she's feeding the dog. Scamp, that she thinks is the dog. And then when they're, you know, something happens, I don't know what, but then yeah, they build a relationship with her because she's like, I have nothing. And
She's
they're
part
like,
of, she gets chosen part of the family.
ooh,
She
you know what would
helps-
be,
she
oh,
helps
you know what would
me.
be interesting, and I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this, is what if Scamp, so Scamp makes her a part, and this is part of Scamp's Achilles heel. He chooses people, right? So he chooses this grandma before the other people, his family knows that he's chosen her. And so when they're like, Scamp, we gotta go. They're like, no, leave her. He's like, and he starts getting red-eyed and growling, and they're like, oh, sorry. She can come with, you know, like we can play that situation of them
Right,
thinking
these
like,
are your rules. I forgot. You're in charge.
that's a great way to put it. These are your rules, Scamp. You are in charge. I think that. Okay, so in some capacity, they're taking Grandma with. So I feel like to take Grandma with, they got to be on the run. So either they get seen, caught, or Scamp bites someone's head off. What do we think? Do we think does he just go for it? Is it like the old man that's like, you know, in casinos, if memory serves, they have to give out a certain amount of money per slot machines, like 45% over a day or whatever it is. And so it could be a situation where she was on her last penny, or like she went to go get more money, which was like her last dollar, and like some old man was waiting in the corner waiting for her to get up because the machine was ready to spit out winners essentially, and he like takes her seat. Basically, like anyone who knows Vegas casinos, like I think like knows this basically.
Yeah.
And so like he basically like waited for her to like run out to have to go get more money, steals her seat, and then is mean to her, and that's what gets Scamp.
Yeah,
to be like,
and then that takes off Scamp.
so like douchebag gambler
Yeah.
could be like the guy that we have Scamp eat. The question is where does he eat him? If we go with this running play, does he eat him in the public? Is it like does he
I feel like
poop
he
on the
corners
floor to
him,
bait
like,
the guy?
in-
I don't know. Go ahead, sorry.
Like maybe he corners him in the bathroom or something. Like I feel like he sneaks him off to the side so it's not like right in front of everybody.
Or on the elevator.
Elevator, that's good.
Because you have a good point. Scamp does isolate his victims in the movie. Even the dog he kills first, he runs away to get the dog behind closed doors before he eats him. So it seems like almost everyone's like essentially isolated. So I think that makes a lot of sense. He like baits him to go into the bathroom somehow, or behind a corner or something.
I like elevator because then you have a nice elevator opening gag for the reveal.
That's true. Yeah.
I dig that. That's interesting. That's super funny. Okay. All right. So we're at a point in this kind of A storyline that Scamp says, "That's my grandma. She's coming with," in his Scamp type way. And so they're like, "We got to get out of here. There's blood everywhere in the elevator. Like, we know what you did, Scamp. Let's go." So they go. Where are they going? Are they going back to the hotel? A hotel room or something? Or are they going on the strip and running into interesting characters on the strip potentially?
Oh man. So I guess also like where are they staying, right? So when I picture them in Vegas, I picture them like off the boulevard in like some like, cheesy like Western style hotel or something like that. I think like that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, to have like a cheesy
Right?
themed hotel.
Yeah, cheesy
There's
theme,
a lot of
something like
gags
that.
there. Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. And like I imagine like, there aren't any pets allowed there, so they've got to sneak them in somehow. So it's like they're trying to, get around the whole like whatever, not supervisor, but the hotel clerk or whatever, who's like constantly trying to figure out what's going on there. But like where do they go? So they could go back there and do that, or it could be cool too. It's like if they start on like the big strip, right? The Vegas strip where everyone goes, and then they end up on like old Vegas strip, which is like kind of a different world too, which is kind of fun. So I don't know if you want to keep the casino gag going where it's like they go to another place, and like if you've ever been to like Old Town Boulevard Vegas, it's very different from like the fancy Venetian and all that. You know what I mean? Like it's two different worlds, which is kind of cool if you want to keep that going.
Yeah, I like the, and again, like there's no right answer. So I mean I like personally this idea of off the beaten path, casino effect. Or
what about? Oh,
go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, or what about like a restaurant? Like what? I was talking about this with my brother earlier this week. It's like, what is his metabolism? Like, does he have to eat a lot because he's burning through so much, or is it something like what's that all about? Like, does he? Yeah. Do we have to keep feeding him?
I mean, if we run with a theme that like for now, that he has to eat to grow, and he's on a timer of like a baby has got to eat every 2 hours. Like, what if Scamp was born like 3 days ago? And like we don't know that, but like he's a super advanced 3-day-old, but he's got to eat.
He's a growing boy.
He's a growing monster.
So they go to like an all-you-can-eat surf and turf buffet.
Yes.
For like $10, all you can eat or whatever it is.
Yes.
And when they go there, they have to ask them like, "Oh, can you, like we need all of the meat raw? Like you can't we only eat raw."
And we need all of it. We need all of it.
All of it. That's another thing too. Like, I mean, I
have
got the
the
impression
money,
from the short. Does he eat? He literally eats anything, right? I mean, from the short, it seems like he was, he was going through the garbage and everything else. But like, are there any like no-nos to what he eats too?
I think we could create a rule with the community.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone
Something
listening,
that makes him sick or weakens him or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one to pose the community too.
Maybe he's lactose intolerant.
Lactose intolerant. Does Scamp have things he refuses to eat? So obviously he eats humans, he eats animals, but is there something about those things that then he would be like you said, like he refuses to eat cow because it's where the lactose comes from? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, is there an interesting way? Because right now he does eat anything that's meat. I don't know. We'll ask everybody else.
Maybe there's like an ice cream bar in the buffet, and then he gets into that, and then he gets really sick.
Yeah.
Ice cream gets him sick. Interesting. That could be an option. Okay, so I like this idea that maybe they even ask him, can you eat things that are not living? And Scamp's like,
I don't know.
and they're like, well, can we try? And he's like, and they're like, all right, well, let's go to the buffet and feed him, and maybe like grows like 50 pounds. They're like, wait a second, you're getting bigger. And then where do they go from there? Like, where do we need, essentially, we're probably looking for now an escalation of conflict with some obstacles to then get this down the pathway of what's our resolution in this kind of Act 2 from where we were.
Well, so how sick does Scamp get? Does it put him out of commission to the point where then the family has to take on some more agency of like, how do we get out of this? Because we can't just stick Scamp on whoever.
Interesting. Or they have to bait people to get him to eat them.
Or Grandma has some kind of secret.
That's good. We need Grandma to have a secret. We do. She needs a secret. What secret? Do we have any ideas? And that could be something for the community too. Feel free to drop your comments in the Discord or hit us up.
Maybe she's got like military training or something.
Yeah.
Or she was like one of those spies. Yeah. One of those double agent spies.
Or like, what if she's got like something where it's like, you know, through the whole thing, she keeps referencing like her special recipe. She's like, oh, you gotta try my special recipe.
Yeah,
you eat everything, you love that. And then at the end, it's like, you know, I don't know, it's something totally wacky.
It like ultra powers Scamp, and he gets huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's like, my grandkids will never eat this. And he's like, I love it.
My grandkids will never eat this. That's hilarious. That's actually, see, those are the kinds of like fun humor I think we can add into this.
Yeah. You
Those
guys ever
kinds of,
see a little 1997 film called Jack Frost?
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yes.
It's been a minute.
Okay, watch it again, and then watch Jack Frost 2, because they're great. But there's so there's an evil killer snowman, but the son makes snacks for his dad, and it's like these oatmeal cookies, but the dad never eats them. And then it turns out the secret ingredient is antifreeze. And so then the snacks end up saving them because he throws the antifreeze at the snowman.
That's hilarious. Wow. I love it.
God. I love that movie. That's wow.
It's so good.
Okay.
It is so good. I remember the VHS like cover for it too.
Yes,
like,
yeah.
You know oh my god, yeah, the movie.
So iconic. Yeah.
Yeah, it is so iconic.
Well, so
Anyway.
I dig this idea that Grandma's got a secret. So in this kind of like a storyline set of events, let's remember our two other protagonists, the woman and the man. They just lost a baby, got a bunch of money. They're hitting the Vegas casino scene, getting more capital. What are they trying to do? Like they're trying to survive. They just got caught. You know, they're worried about getting caught. Scamp eating everybody. But what's their plan? Do they are they trying to go anywhere? Like, do they have a friend or like a family member? They're like, if we make it to, San Antonio, we'll be able to hide out for a while. Like, do they have a plan? Does it matter? Maybe we don't even get that far, but I feel like to clarify.
Maybe somebody has, like a crazy cousin with a bunker or something.
Yeah, that's true. I felt like from the short, and maybe this is totally the wrong way to do this, but it felt like the lead guy was more of like an opportunist in a way, where it's like he was always, like they just came home from this horrible, event at the hospital, losing the kid, and he's like, he's trying to, make the lead female character like happy as much as possible, and then he like finds Scamp and like thinks his luck's turning around, and so he kind of holds on to Scamp because he thinks he makes him lucky and that sort of thing. So I just feel like in a way, like if you wanted to kind of do a negative slant on it, it seems like to me the guy is like a little more of an opportunist in that sense, where it's like he's not so much emotionally connected to Scamp as say the woman seems to be, or like maybe she still has to like develop more of a relationship there, where it's like he's more latching onto Scamp because he feels that Scamp brings them luck, and Scamp, improves their circumstances a lot. So I don't know if there's something there where he's got a, sort of like a master plan, and so he's kind of like dragging everyone along, and at some point that's going to blow up because he's just always got a plan, right? And he's always like got something cooking in the back burner, and it's like, I don't know, maybe it just kind of boils over at some point, and then like it kind of like pushes everyone apart at some point. Maybe. I don't know.
I love that. And it gives us a place to go with the story. Is this idea that, like you said, he was kind of set up in the first episode. Like, why is Scamp friends with this guy? Like, to a degree. Whereas the woman made a little more sense. Very vulnerable, just lost her kid. But for him, very opportunistic. So what if he sees an opportunity to sell Scamp, or to leverage his relationship with Scamp for some selfish endeavor that then Scamp gets wind of? And we know what happens when Scamp feels betrayed. It's worse than anything he's done so far. Do we explore that as part of the like heightened conflict into maybe a climactic moment where we're assuming through these escapades we're talking about that it's still like relationship as normal, things are all kosher, everything's great, but he's got another idea, that the man, and he's about to betray Scamp, which is gonna like blow Scamp's mind.
Maybe the guy's secret plan is like, okay, we got to get to San Antonio where my brother runs an auction house, and we can really
Cattle,
yeah.
We can auction Scamp.
As long as we get to use the Alamo in San Antonio.
That's really so because all the fun stuff is great, but this is where we would need a hook from a story perspective, is we can drop in as we're going through these fun things that, like, under his breath, or he calls his brother or cousin and he's like, I got something for us, dude. This is gonna make it for us, whatever. And so we know, wait a second, he's trying to use Scamp, and we all know what's gonna happen. So we can play into that. Yeah, we can play into that. So, all right, so let's play that out then. So we get wind as an audience that he's gonna take Scamp somewhere to potentially, let's say, auction him off to some kind of whatever, and that's gonna betray Scamp's trust. So when does Scamp, or how does Scamp discover that, oh, my original partner in crime, so to speak, he's gonna backstab me? What do we see a situation? Are they on the road going to San Antonio? Do they get there after the Vegas trip? Is there anything that's coming up? Something that's could be like, what's a situation where Scamp's like, wait a second, bro, what?
Yeah,
you did this?
I think for me, it would be more of like his partner finding out, and like it's almost like the lesson he has to learn is like, what is like the true sort of form of family, like what is family for him, right? Because he's sort of coming at it from a situation where it's like, what can make me happy, what can make me successful, what can make me lucky, and Scamp really views him as like part of his like family structure, right? And so as far as the woman goes, like she has, she thought she was coming home with a baby, she didn't, and now Scamp is in her life and he is making their lives better. And so I would think that she would grow more of an emotional attachment where she meets Scamp like at eye to eye, whereas like the guy kind of looks down on him in a way, because to him it's more of like a tool, right, to get him through whatever they need to get through. And so I think when his partner finds out that it's like he's not coming at it from the same angle she's coming at, I think that's really where like he's got to learn his lesson from Scamp, sure, but like definitely from her too, because if they can't meet eye to eye, then they can't really be together in a way because they don't value the same things.
And maybe that's what it is we discover early on that he's trying to use Scamp to get his own selfish XYZ. His wife obviously is like, this is my new child. Like, I will do anything for Scamp. And she discovers, wait, what are you doing? This is not what we talked about. This is not what the plan was. Like, are you? And she's maybe got to convince him, like, under Scamp's nose, like, we can't do this because, well, he might eat your face off, but it's also not the right thing to do. Right. And so maybe that's part of where this conflict drives towards, is the two of them at odds with Scamp in the middle, because he's like, I don't care, I'm gonna do whatever I want, and she's like, no, you can't do it, and it's not good for us. And how we navigate that situation and breakdown of.
And I think she would compare Scamp to their child and be like, is this how you would have treated our child? Like, would you have forced them to do all kinds of stuff they didn't want to do or whatever? Or would you take advantage of them? It's like, this is our baby now, so treat them like our baby.
And
go ahead. Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, is this something you want to deal with as like an arc, or do you want to deal with this in like one episode? Because the other thing you could do is like, so back at the casino when they're like winning, he puts it all on black, right? And then that's when the security guards come in, kick them out, and they've lost everything now. And so then he wants to sell Scamp because now they have no money and they got to figure out what to do. And so then she steps in and she's like, you can't do this. And then, I don't know, maybe like the old lady treats them to the surf and turf, and then that's where they kind of bond and kind of like figure this stuff out. You know what I mean? But it's like, because they're not married yet, because in the first episode, remember the trailer park lady, like, no, she kind of pushed a button there. She's like, that's what happens when you have a baby out of wedlock. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. And so maybe the thing is, like, they did come to Vegas to make more money, but also to get married, because that seems to be like maybe a pressure point on their relationship. And so the question is, like, are they going to stay together by the end of the episode, or is this all going to fall apart?
I dig that. That's a great arc for us to travel down. Is them trying to go to Vegas to get married and seal the deal, so to speak. Now that they feel like they have this money, this opportunity, but something gets in the way. They get lost in gambling. They lose everything. They get a grandma attached at their hip and Scamp's off eating people's faces. But they're still like, can we get married? Are we gonna do it? And it's like, that type of thing. That's interesting. Yeah. That's a good. I think that's a good arc for kind of this A storyline. And then the cool thing with like Choose Your Nightmare is we can potentially play out various scenarios of like, do they get married? Does Scamp eat him? Is there a combination of the two? Is it like now they're on their way back to the hotel, just the two of them, and Scamp stalking them? Cut there.
Scamp goes full Hammurabi, and he's like, an eye for an eye, bitch, I'm gonna eat your arm off, and that's your punishment.
I love this idea that's actually a really good character development for Scamp. Is right now we just know when he's angry he eats people entirely. It would be cool to where, like, when you do something that's a little messed up, I might eat your arm. Like, I might bite your foot off.
I'm just gonna take a bite.
Just a bite. It depends how egregious it is. Like, the fact that you thought you would sell me to the highest bidder, I'm gonna bite your hand off for that. Consider it a thank you. Like that's really funny. Okay. So that's a great little, I think, very broad storyline that we can break into segments. Kind of like they're escaping to Vegas, casino, grandma, still got to get married, but he wants to sell Scamp. They don't have money. How's it all going to end? You decide. That feels pretty good. Like, I feel like, is there anything within that we're like, ooh, this would be cool if this happened instead, or like, oh, what if that happened? Anything we're feeling? I don't know. I'm just trying to turn over every stone, as they say.
Well, the only thing I feel like we haven't touched on is like the bullet, but I don't know what we do with that. I'm not sure what the bullet thing.
Okay. Well, it's a part of the kind of like ethos of Crypt's monster universe, right, Alyssa? More or less, like it's his
it's
shard
his totem.
Totem, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we could probably
We don't
work that
need
in.
to.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
We don't have
yeah.
to have the answer today. I feel like that's a layer we could probably navigate at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that's pretty good. This is a question I have. So, assuming like that's like a very base storyline that will work from, let's say that in the first minute of the experience of the video, of the movie, the story, whatever, right? There's a choice. You're watching this, you're the audience. There's a choice. You can either go this way, you can stay this way, or you can go that way. A, B, C. If you go A, you're going to have the storyline essentially we just talked about, more or less. Like, in the same vein as what we already experienced with the original short. B, one is what is the, like, subgenre, like, what's the feel? Do we take Scamp completely out of this world that you don't even, like, you can't even see what's coming? And then C, is that another pathway? Is that something, or do we keep this pathway going and we just spin off little pieces here and there to be like, oh, and this is where he went to the convention instead of going to the hotel with the grandma, or this is where, you know, he offs this person and this is where he offs that person. We can do multiple versions of any of this, just kind of exploration at this point. But I'm curious what you guys think. Is there I know we talked about this on the last episode. Like, do we want to go full, like, how campy can we go with the storyline potentially? Or how dark maybe we go with an alt storyline? Or something else? I don't know. Or we bring in like there's a monster tailing him thing that's a complete veer off where we're headed right now. So it's almost like you can have essentially like 3 different stories, completely different feels and almost subgenres. Just curious what you guys think. Is there a feeling of like, this would be interesting if we really explored taking Scamp into this alt universe? What do you think?
And this would be, so it's like it would be like an alternate choice you could make. Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah.
from
So if you're
what we
given
just
so basically, if you're giving Scamp a choice, right? Scamp's he's gonna get in the car or he's gonna stay behind, right? If you stay behind, well, we're not going with the people to Vegas. So where are we going, right? And where does that story take us? It doesn't have to necessarily be, in my opinion, the same feel and rhythm and ethos of the current version of Scamp events that we have. It could be like, oh, Scamp's gonna go find his split personality, like completely make things up and go to left field and do whatever we want. So basically I'm asking the question, like, if there was an alt scenario, what are we interested in exploring? Because this is kind of like the tried and true, feels within rhythm of what we've already experienced, like we know what that is. I'm wondering, you know, like how we said with the monster rights activist, if there's a pathway, like, hey, he ditches this family right out from the start if you choose that path, and he's going underground. He's gonna start hunting humans who are blah 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 blah. Like, I don't know, I'm just making it up. Or go in a very dark direction, or very really campy direction, almost like vaudevillian. I don't know. Is it a musical? Like, where do you want to go? I'm not gonna write the music, but I don't think I could.
Okay, what if let's say he does make it to Vegas, but he gets separated, and then he gets picked up by like 2 college dudes who drove in from LA to, like, you know, go enjoy the weekend in Vegas, and they're about to drive back. So he hops in the car with them, and they go, and like, I'm just I don't know if you've ever driven from Vegas to LA, but like at some point there's usually like traffic just stops and you just sit there for like the longest friggin' time sometimes. So what if like they get stuck in traffic and the sun's going down and, I don't know, vampires suddenly attack all the cars that are sitting there, and Scamp just starts eating vampires left and right? And so like basically all these cars, all the people in these cars kind of like gather around as Scamp like eats vampires who are trying to kill them all. And then, you know, the sun rises, everyone has survived, and they start a new religion following Scamp. I don't know, just like something stupid like that.
Wow. Yes. Yes.
Boom. There you go.
Super
Incredible.
intense.
Oh,
Print it.
And again, I don't, as I, absurd as that may feel, hearing it for the first time, I honestly think that's kind of the opportunity, right? Is to like, yeah, do exactly what is expected, but like in its own creative, fun, interesting way. But, and you see that if you've seen Bandersnatch on Netflix, there's a point in time when they take you in a direction that you don't expect. They break the fourth wall. It's like very like meta, but they can get away with it because of the medium of this kind of choose your adventure, choose your nightmare style. So it's not off the table. If it was one storyline, yeah, it'd be like, that's really left field. Like, that just feels like we're just making shit up now. But that could be an option, I feel like. So maybe like, yeah, something like that, like things like that. And that's something that we would love for the community. Monster Wranglers, as we call you, feel free to like share your like insights, like ideas of like, what if, kind of like we had already, like Scamp had 2 split personalities and they're competing against each other, and one has supporters, the other one has haters, and how that coalesces into this big thing. Like, well, then we're totally off the Vegas path, but maybe that's okay. So yeah, for now, I would say let's keep exploring those options. We'll do that moving forward the next few weeks. With everybody, feel free to drop a line as far as what you're thinking. So we'll keep developing the kind of granular of this kind of A storyline while we spitball like the alt scenarios, and see what we come up with. And then we'll, continue to refine and get things on paper and make things smoother, easier, better until we can produce something and you choose the nightmare that you have. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Sound
Great
okay
plan.
to you guys? Okay.
Wait, real quick, did you guys see the chat where Mr. Nightmare Fuel said tie in another monster from the universe? Can we
That would
just
be dope.
Do we have any preference on which monsters? If you were to just go that route, does anyone have an idea?
I don't. Let's ask that question next week. Maybe we might have a special guest who could answer that question for us. Stay tuned.
Right. I say my preference. I haven't gone through all the Crypt shorts, but I do have a preference already.
Probably like a Cake Man or like who else?
Well, I don't know if this would work for anyone else, but I like So 2 days ago I hit the Miss Anity shorts. I love that monster so much. It is so creepy and like so
She's
perfect.
great, right?
She's great. She's so great. I mean, as far as like character-wise, it probably doesn't work whatsoever. But like, I just I saw those 3 shorts. And I was like, dang, this is cool. This is a good creation. But anyway, that's who I would pick. I don't know how I would tie her in or how it would even make any sense. But like, I just love her.
I mean, like I said, I think that's a great idea. And again, we don't have to like the vampire angle. That could be a dead end. It's like, think of it like a maze. It's okay. Like, you have to build the dead ends to then know where the pathways to get to the direction that you want to go. So we can create dead ends, right? So we can have the, like, if you choose to go this direction, you go here potentially, and then this is where you potentially, right? And then you have to rewatch potentially the episode from the beginning to then go a different path. So we could explore that. So these kind of options that like, oh, what if we did this? Even if it's a dead end, that might be okay, because maybe we need those as a part of the experience. It doesn't necessarily have to all wind back to the same spot, is I guess my point. I want to ask another one of these kind of like moral dilemma questions. Gotta come up with a better title, but for
Wait,
now...
I need to hear your receipts.
My
boys.
receipts for what?
From the last dilemma. What did your wife say?
Oh crap!
My wife totally sided with me. She said, "You're right." She's like, "If I had found out that you had let 100 children die, I swear to God, this is." She's like, "I would never look at you the same way again." That's what she said.
Well, she would be dead, so she would never look at you ever again. So
That's fair. That's a fair critique. I forgot, so I can't.
my girlfriend was like, "Oh, absolutely, you made the right choice. Fuck them kids. Who cares? Thank you." I'm like, "Oh my God."
Hey, sounds like you got a winner. Yeah, I gotta ask. I gotta ask.
Okay.
What's
Okay. What's
your
your new one?
All right, this is the new one. So it's a spin-off inspired by, I guess, Pet Sematary. If you had a loved one who died, and you could bring them back as like obviously like a demonic split personality type thing, and they might try to kill you in your sleep. Would you bring them back? And if yes, how would you handle their demonic kind of obsession to like eat your face, you know, something like that? Like, how would you? So like, they're either gone forever, or they're back. And even if we scale this rule a little bit, that like they're here part time. So like half the time, they're like, oh, that's my normal person. The other half the time, they're demonically obsessed and they want to eat you. How do you deal with that? What do you do it? Do you not do it? Would you? What do you think?
Sometimes dead is better. I'm going with sometimes dead is better, and we leave them dead. I saw Pet Sematary, and it scared the shit out of me, and I don't need to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Totally bury him.
If under whatever circumstances I did bring them back to life, then it would just be a Shaun of the Dead situation where I got them chained up in the back house and we play video games, but they got the little collar on so you can't reach me.
And then do you let them eat you, or do you just feed them someone else?
Oh yeah, feed them somebody else. Yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
they don't
Just
have
feed
to.
them
They don't
whatever.
have to eat you. They don't have to eat you.
Yeah,
Like
no,
you,
they just
like
gotta eat somebody.
they want to kill you. You just have to protect yourself, or what, whatever you can do to make them not hurt you or eat you or whatever. I think I came up with what I would do on the spot. I feel like if it's someone I really, really want around, I would bury them, let them come back, because in theory, you can always get rid of them again. Like if you needed to, right? So if it like
Double
doesn't
kill
quite
them?
work, yeah, I guess, right? Like there's got to be a way.
Dang,
So,
that's cool, bro.
Well, but I mean, what else am I supposed to do?
I don't know,
mean-
but it's like
No,
you're killing
that's
them
the problem.
Or-
Then you're
or-
stuck with a half zombie forever.
Well, what if?
Exactly.
Hold on. What if there's a cure? What if there's a way to do it? Fix them? I don't know. We don't know till we
Keep
know.
telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm gonna utilize that Pet Cemetery. I'm gonna get me a Pet Cemetery here. I'm gonna show you guys. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Yeah, that's. I think that's it from us on this one. Any final thoughts from Alyssa, Ryan? Anything from you all?
God, I can't think of anything.
There's got to be a way to get Jack Frost in here. I just.
Oh my God.
I-
Yes. Or like
We don't
get
have
around
any-
the
we don't-
rights and like it's a progeny of Jack Frost or something. I don't know.
Oh,
yeah, that's
that
gotta
IP
be
has to be available.
Yeah.
Like that director. Every time I tweet about this movie all the time. Every time I tweet it, a couple days later, the director is name searching Jack Frost, and he's like, "Thank you so much for supporting my movie." I'm like,
No,
"You're
that's
welcome.
awesome.
You're
Oh,
welcome."
that's amazing.
Wow.
God.
I mean,
you
Jack
get-
Frost is in the public domain, right?
What?
Correct.
I don't
Well,
know.
yeah,
This
he's
iteration.
a
The original.
yeah,
Yeah.
as a folk tale.
Yeah.
But is Jack Frost 1997 and Jack
Oh,
Frost
no.
2? Well, you're saying no, but you don't. You don't
mean,
know.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's true. That's
Maybe.
so true.
How do we get a hold of it? How do we make it happen?
I mean,
you, like, reach out to him
we
and,
tweet
like, do
him.
an
We
interview
tweet.
with
We.
him?
Hello, sir,
Michael
Mr.
Cooney.
Director
Get
of
him.
Jack Frost, Michael Cooney, my best friend. We're friends because we talk on Twitter. Let's get a third one in here.
Yes.
Let's do it again.
Oh my God. Yes.
It's such a good.
What
It's such
could
a
we
good
possibly
movie
have
poster.
to lose?
It's so ridiculous. What are you like? Oh yeah. Oh my God. It's so.
There's
funny.
nothing to lose. There's absolutely nothing to lose. We
There's
can't
no-
make a
no,
worse.
there's absolutely
We
nothing to lose.
can't make a
No.
worse movie
It's
than
a
Jack
win-win
Frost.
situation. Exactly.
And with that.
And with
Yeah.
that,
No, the poster is so iconic. I remember
is.
seeing it going into Blockbuster, like being like, "Oh, what is that? It's so scary." Cool. All right, well, I appreciate everybody. Yeah, if no final thoughts, this was our development session number 2 around Crypt's Campfire. Yeah, and we'll catch you on the next one next week. Tune in, hop in the Discord, talk to us, tell us your ideas, the stories, all that good stuff. We want to hear from you.
let's keep it going.
Cool.
Keep it on. All right, bye, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
thank you everyone for joining us for Crypt's Campfire for week 2, and we'll be back next week at the same time. Join us then.